Greetings, everyone. Well, time for some more Halloween fun. Let's see what we got in our treasure box of horror here. Well, this is certainly appropriate for Halloween. It's Halloween! And Halloween too. Well, this one you know about because I've already talked about it before, but I'll just repeat a couple of things for those of you who may not have seen the other video. But this is the big one. This is the new one. I actually got this with an Amazon gift certificate recently. This was one of the more recent purchases I picked up. This is the Halloween 35th Anniversary Edition Digibook. It's a beautiful edition with a few packaging issues. I'll have to concur with some of my friends who had some things to say about it, but we'll get into that in a few minutes. So celebrating Halloween with Halloween today on the Multimedia Chronicles. Welcome back. Let's close that. There's a little ribbon there. We got to get that inside. There we go. Okay. So, a lot of you have asked me for a very long time, hey Sean, have you seen any of the Halloween movies? Why don't you have any of the Halloween movies? Well, the main reason I didn't have any of the Halloween movies for a long time, or ever that you've seen, but I have had them before, is because, well, I had them before. I actually used to own the first 3 Halloween movies on VHS, way back in the Selkirk days. And honestly, I watched them so many times, over and over and over, that I was just kind of done with Halloween for a while there. So I owned the first 3, I rented 4 and 5, and then I saw 6 on pay TV. And that's as far as I've seen. I haven't seen the 7th or 8th ones. But I will do so soon. Now that I've actually been revisiting it, I've really, fallen in love with the series all over again. I honestly feel that it's the absolute pinnacle of the slasher genre. There's obviously been a lot of imitators over the years and whatnot, but I just love the fact that this is a proper continuing saga. With proper sequels, especially the first 2, I think just go together beautifully. Even though there are some continuity issues between them, they don't quite match up, but just don't think too hard about it and have a good time. But I always love the fact that Halloween 2 picks up right where Halloween 1 leaves off. Like, literally, Halloween 2 starts at the exact moment that Halloween 1 ends, which I think is great, that it's a proper sequel. But, yeah, I had not actually seen either of them probably since the Selkirk days. Yeah, it's been that long. But, as I say, I'd watched them so many times, I pretty much remembered most of the important details. But it was great to revisit it again with this beautiful 35th Anniversary Edition. If we just take a little look inside, we actually do have the movie poster there. It's quite nice. And some very nice behind-the-scenes photos and such. The actual booklet itself here is quite nice. It's not mounted as in quite the same way that you normally see in digibooks. The binding isn't particularly good. It's basically just kind of glued in there and stapled. But the big complaint that a lot of people have had, and I have to concur, is, do you see any disc hub there? Yeah, that's because there isn't one. Basically, if you want to get the disc out, it's in this far... Oh, God, really? It's in this far too tight sleeve. God. Where basically you have to grab it with your fingers and take care not to chip the edges with your fingernail to get it out. Now, thank God it's a Blu-ray at least, so we know how scratch-resistant Blu-rays are. But, yeah, really don't like that at all. Really don't like that at all. That's very disappointing. Especially since there's no way of knowing that it's like this from looking at it from the outside. There is no way to know. It just looks like a standard thin format digibook. But it's not. It's different. The cover itself I really like. I like this picture of Michael Myers there. You can probably tell here. I'm sure you've seen a million videos about this. I'm like totally the last person in the world to get this. It seems like everybody and their dog bought this year. But beautiful embossed logo on there. You got nice matte finish all over here. Very, very nice. Yeah, so it's just a really good edition. And in terms of the transfer, it's absolutely beautiful. It's really, really nice. They've actually done a new transfer of it with new color timing. It still has the blue tint that some people complained about for the nighttime scenes, but the difference between this and previous editions that had the color tinting, the blue tint is only in the nighttime scenes. The daytime scenes are back to their normal natural colors. You don't have that blue tint through the whole thing that I know a lot of people complained about with some of the other editions. Yeah, this one, the daytime scenes are beautiful, vibrant color, just gorgeous. Even though it's supposed to be fall, it's very green, which of course is because they filmed it, I think, in LA, and they literally took like leaves and spread them, like spray painted them and spread them all over the ground to make it look like fall. So all the leaves you see on the ground are put there. It's not actually from the locations. So they would put these leaves all over. And you'll notice if you look carefully when they're walking around the neighborhood, you'll see like, if you look closely in the background, you can especially see it on the Blu-ray, you'll see the leaves are only on like a couple of the lawns, and all the other lawns in the background are completely clean. So it's a little suspension of disbelief there, and just enjoy the story. But they did the best they could with the locations they had. But yeah, in terms of special features, this is a really nicely loaded edition. You've actually got a new audio commentary with John Carpenter and Jamie Lee Curtis. Now, I should mention that is apparently a different commentary than what was on the previous Blu-ray edition. So yeah, it looks like I'm going to have to pick out the previous Blu-ray edition again, even though I just sold it, because I didn't think I needed it anymore because this edition was out. But yeah, apparently Halloween, much like Evil Dead, is one of those movies where if you want to have all the extras and all the goodies, you have to have multiple editions. There is no one single edition that has everything. So yeah, I think the other one is the 25th Anniversary Edition, which has the theatrical cut and the TV cut, and there's a couple of documentaries out there as well, which apparently are quite like feature-length documentaries, similar to what they've been doing with the Friday the 13th ones and stuff like that. Then we got a new featurette called The Night She Came Home, so it's all about Jamie Lee Curtis. On Location 25 Years Later featurette. Sorry, itchy nose. It's a scratch, not a pick. You got all the footage from the TV version. Well, most of it anyway. I don't think they have all the sort of censored nudity scenes, but they have all the additional scenes that were added. So if you want to see the stuff that was created for the TV version to basically pad out the running time to 100 minutes, which was the standard length for a 2-hour movie without commercials back then. God, what is with my nose? Yeah, so they got all those extra scenes in there in a bonus section. You got the original trailer, and you got some TV and radio spots. So, all in all, not a bad package. The main reason to get this, of course, is for the transfer. It is by far the best-looking transfer that we've had of this thus far. And honestly, I don't know that it's ever going to look much better. They did a pretty nice job of it. So, me, Skinslip, and Metal Madness watched this a little while ago. We didn't do a movie gangbang commentary or anything like that. We just watched it to watch it and have fun. Funny thing is, though, that we were talking about the movie so much during it, we realized after the fact, we should have recorded that as a movie gangbang episode, but oh well, sorry. Too bad you couldn't be there. But it was kind of funny because we all have different editions. So I was watching this one, I think Metal was watching the 25th Anniversary DVD, and Stout was watching the old Blu-ray release. And then Halloween 2. I think Halloween 2, we all had different editions as well. So we double billed it one night. So, yeah. So definitely worth checking out. If you're a fan of the movie, get the 35th Anniversary Edition if you want to have the best possible presentation of it. It looks fantastic. Yeah. But if you have the old Blu-ray, hang on to that if you want to have more of the extras, because there's stuff on there that isn't on this, and vice versa. So then, of course, we have Halloween 2, the 30th Anniversary Edition, which I've talked about before. I still don't have the Scream Factory release, which has way more extras and also has the full television cut of this. A lot of people may not know that there is also a television cut of Halloween 2. However, this one does have an alternate ending, and it also has deleted scenes. And the deleted scenes specifically are what was added for the television cut. So you actually do get the scenes from the television cut on this edition, just not the television cut itself. It does play out a little bit differently in a few key respects. And then, of course, as I talked about in the previous one, the big bonus feature and the big reason to get this is because it has Terror in the Aisles, which is a nice feature-length documentary about essentially the history of horror movies told through clips from Universal movies. So it's like the history of horror movies through the eyes of Universal Pictures. So you've got stars and crew from notable Universal horror movies over the years, talking about the history of horror, and then clips from them. So you got clips and trailers and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool. And apparently Terror in the Aisles is not planned to get its own release. So this edition of Halloween 2 is the only place you can get it in high def. Otherwise, I don't think you even got a DVD release. So otherwise, you're stuck with the old VHS release. So anyway, it's not going to be everybody's cup of tea. I know I talked about it when I talked about it on this in the previous video I did on the subject. One of my viewers said, "Yeah, I watched Terror in the Aisles with just a bunch of clips. It was really boring." It's like, well, what in my description led you to believe it was going to be anything but a clip show? I mean, that's basically what the whole point of it is like you look at clips from old horror movies and then the narration puts it in context. But whatever. I mean, I guess that kind of thing isn't everybody's cup of tea. But I like it, and that's one of the reasons I got this. So, yeah. So next on the list, I definitely want to get the Scream Factory version of Halloween 2 and Halloween 3. They did a really nice edition of that, too, apparently. And then pick up Halloween 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then just, have a festorama of the rest of them. So, yeah. Pretty cool. Gotta love Halloween. So rest assured, those of you who are wondering, yes, I am quite familiar with the saga of Michael Myers, at least up to the 6th one. And, I've always been a fan, just not a hardcore fan. But yeah, I mean, I definitely like to get the rest of them and get the alternate editions of the other ones so I can get all the extras and all the goodies. But in the meantime, very happy with these two. Alrighty. As always, Amazon links in the description. I think I mentioned that before. Please use them. I appreciate your patronage. Thank you. Yeah, so that is it from me to you for now. So until next time, thanks for watching, and happy Halloween.